right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 311. So today, there are once again no updates. Today's Sunday. The block type, I think, is still available in the store. And as usual, we will continue work on the terminal block mining simulation game. So last night, I think I renamed an interface. Then I started work on creating some random regions to start simulating loading. Game Dev Chat, how's it going? All right, game still works. The real charity. How's it going? How are you doing today? Today I'm pretty good. I've been keeping up my pattern of trying to get one shorts video every day. Watching stock futures go crazy tonight. So Ron. Yeah, I know things have been going really crazy. Things have been heating up with Iran. I kept checking I checked Yahoo Finance or something to see are things, is this real, or is the market actually moving? I think most of it seems, when I checked, most of it seemed closed, and I didn't see any big price swings, but I assume it's probably just because it's Sunday. I don't know if it's starting to show up in the currency markets or anything, or Bitcoin doesn't close, so Bitcoin didn't seem like it was changing a lot, so. What's for? Says, howdy. How's it going? Bought oil calls and S&P puts. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I assume if to really make money on that stuff, you almost have to be like an insider. I tried and failed to make when I did my call on natural gas. I made I was right about the prediction, but not about the pipeline getting blown up. But then the price did the opposite, and I lost money. With AI too now, that opens up some really interesting trading possibilities. With stuff like Polymarket, how you can bet on real world events. Because I think historically, you could call stuff like that basically gambling, because the reason that oil futures are not gambling is because there's an actual economic, you're adding liquidity by as a speculator, by being the counterparty to someone who wants to mitigate risk. But now with really advanced AI, you can kind of like translate those, absurd correlations into like real liquidity. Like if you say like, what's the probability of going to this, event happening with Iran, you can actually translate that into like, if you're the counterparty betting on that, that actually will create liquidity for like an oil market or something. Strait of Hormuz is shut now. I'm not sure. I guess I'm not even sure what authority would. Is the middle of that international waters? I mean, I wouldn't want to sail through there, given what's going on. But just want to say your streams are motivating. Hope you keep them going through the year. At the moment, I'm kind of thinking. I think I'll probably do it up until 365. So I think there's what would it be, 54 live streams left. To be honest, I actually think the live streams are hurting the channel because revenue after I streamed for a few months, revenue went down considerably on the channel. And then I turned the monetization back on. And then it went up for 1 month, but now actually this month is the lowest channel revenue in like more than a year. I think it was like $650 was the channel revenue this month, which is like 93 or 94% down from the peak. Shoseki says, good evening. How's it going? Interesting indeed. People are using prediction markets to hedge their stock trades. Yeah, I almost want to get back into it, but then again, the thing that makes me hesitate is you can ask like, why would I? I wish I had time to play around with it. I'd be interested to see like what are the historical like if you did back testing on whenever there's some like crazy event, always bet that the event will not happen. Like bet one day in the future, bet that it won't happen. And they just do that for tons and tons of things every single day. Hope your game becomes popular. Yeah, me too. I gotta get some progress on it though. It's not too impressive at the moment. But I guess recently I've been putting out shorts recently a lot. There's a long backlog of like just simple ideas that I wanted to get out there, and then I'll maybe try to start doing. I don't really need to put much effort into a short, but they seem to like they could really count to like your publishing. I don't know, they really seem to pull up the channel metrics, so I could probably just talk about a billion different small things, small like features of the game or small features of terminals. So maybe I will shift more towards that, try and drum up some interest. Okay, we update the required regions. Are you fasting Ramadan? I am not. Not. I actually don't even know. I think I've heard that Ramadan is approximately around this time, but I don't even know exactly when it's celebrated. Marine vessel traffic websites are showing almost all ships near the strait at anchor. Yeah, I guess some of them. Well, I don't know. Maybe some of them maybe even like switched off their transponders. I guess there's aircraft carriers and stuff over there. Probably I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. military called them up and it's like, "Hey, can you do this thing for us?" And they're in communication trying to coordinate what to do. That means that it's going to cost more money to ship stuff. It's going to get stuck in transit longer. Follows the Islamic calendar, which is lunar-based, so it shifts throughout the year. Shifts throughout the year. Is it celebrated once per year or multiple times per year? Once per year. How goes the block mining? It's coming along. This is one of those things that's so like, it's one of those tasks that I need to do it to make progress, but it's also kind of boring and tedious to test this properly. But once it's good to have a good test case, then I can turn my brain off and then do like really aggressive refactoring and then just run the unit test. But the streams topic, though, if it does actually hurt your revenue, perhaps you could stream on a different platform, potentially find more viewers for the channel, still hang out with us. Maybe I think I'll probably 365 days in a row is a pretty decent streak. So I'll probably, some people have mentioned Twitch, but the thing is, if I can't, if it doesn't make any revenue or lead to any growth on YouTube, then I like it'll probably be better on Twitch a little bit. But I have like a core. I have a core value proposition to what I produce, and if I stray too far from it, like I could stream on Kick into like, outrageous. I could go on, I could like react to stuff and do like live events or something with it. That's pretty far from. It's far from what I want to produce. I thought this would be an interesting experiment to see if I can. Working on the game continuously. This is advertisement, because people say like, "What are you doing?" And then I answer. Then people can learn about it. And I thought that maybe I would get like a few channel members here and there, but it seems like there's basically like no new channel members from it, so it's just it's not leading to growth, which is not too surprising because it's not very interesting to watch. I think I probably will, like a few of the last shorts videos, I answered one of the questions I asked was that people ask is why did I choose Java in the shorts video for that. We did pretty well, and there's lots of people commenting on it and stuff, so it seems like this is actually a good venue to get in touch with what people want. So I probably won't give it up completely, but I think I'll go to 365 days, and then I'll probably take a break. Basically babysitting. Yeah, I guess there's probably some people out there who are just kids and stuff. What's your opinion on building software in functional languages like Haskell or OCaml? Why might companies choose these languages? Someone mentioned Haskell on that shorts video. I learned about Haskell in university, and I had a high opinion of it. And I eventually concluded that the amount of so I was interested in learning it, but I never worked on a project where I actually needed to learn Haskell. And then over time, I just did not. I've never encountered Haskell code in the wild, and I very rarely meet other people who code in it. And I think it's, I like to just get work done and make progress. Like there's tons of languages and frameworks and editors you can switch to. So the fact that not many people use it is one thing that makes me not really want to use it. Because if you're the only one who can maintain it, and if you can't like hire people to work with it and stuff, that makes it harder. OCaml. I actually don't even know anything about OCaml. And I very rarely hear people talk about it. Obviously, it didn't mean like every day, just kind of every now and then. Just the time commitment for streaming every day is very high. Maybe it can be like once a week. Yeah, maybe once a week or something would be. I don't know. I don't want to commit to anything, but probably at 365 days, I will conclude the experiment. And then, actually, it might be. I could probably do at least one video on like looking back my experience live streaming for 365 days. But I'll probably just completely stop for an indeterminate amount of time, and then maybe do one here and there. Jane Street, use that, I believe. Jane Street. What do they do? Do you use Social Blade at all? You can see your YouTube stats. I think I've heard of that. I never really checked it though. I don't even think I'm probably on that. Am I? Well-known quant trading firm. You are? Checked it tonight. Nice. Does that mean I'm famous? Technically, you're on my TV right now. Nice. Shows various stats. Yeah, I've heard of it before. I never really spent any time looking at it. Talk about geopolitics with a crazy title. Probably get a bunch of views. Yeah, maybe. The problem is that the views have to translate into revenue, though. I can't pay my rent with views. What's your opinion on AI agentic workflow in OpenClaw? OpenClaw, I don't know anything about it. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. Agentic stuff. It really seems to be. Someone described it as like just putting a while loop around like a ChatGPT session, but like where you ask ChatGPT, like, how do I do this? You take, copy and paste what it gives you, and you run whatever, like you try to use it, and then you get like an error, and then you just copy and paste the error back in, and you put a while loop around that. So I think it is, it's another way to squeeze a bit more out of this language model stuff, which it's an interesting advancement. It's definitely a significant advancement, but it's it doesn't really advance the like the fundamental secret sauce is it isn't really improved by that. If you're monetized, presumably views translate into a few dollars. Growing your followers counts is most important. Actually, no. So this month, for example, I have, I think, like 3 times as many subscribers today as I did like last November. And this month, channel revenue is like half. Channel revenue is it's a little bit over half of what it was when I had like 60,000 subscribers. So subscriber count is totally meaningless. I'm just coding while watching you code. Yeah, that seems like a popular reason for people to visit. I hear shorts are crazy. What do you mean by crazy? Perhaps you could take a single question from each live stream, turn it into a short. Yeah, people have mentioned that's one possibility, is just kind of mindlessly take. I think there are AI tools to do that. What I've been doing recently is just filming, like the last month or so, I've been taking some of the common questions and just putting them into like a bit slightly better edited shorts. Cloud Code is much better than OpenClaw. Interesting. I haven't tried either yet. Went to some tech events. It's all the rage. Kind of crazy how much AI is forced upon this industry. To become the future. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And I noticed the other day, I noticed an interesting like contrast. Every time I make a video and I use AI art in it, I get like totally, there's a ton of people that are like, oh, unsubscribe. Do not use AI art. AI is bad and it can't think and it has no brain. But yet for coders, where there's like this huge push to always get everyone to use AI more. People, literally every live stream, people ask me about AI and suggest I use it. So I guess with that attitude, we will be replaced before the artists are. I wonder whether quality or quantity matter. It's really hard to say. It seems lately like quantity is mattering more, but it seems like in the long term, I don't know. I have some other videos that I think are pretty decent quality, but they like the disparity in views. Like I have videos that I've put a ton of work into that I think are like, they're maybe not that amazing, but they're pretty good. They have like 2,000 views, and then other like my how to make a CPU video is almost at like 20 million now. And there's like nothing in between. I use Cloud Code to manage MicroPython library. I made a long time ago. Nice. J Homie OG says, hello, Waymond. Thank you for your public service announcement on the SHA-256 sum command. Very useful. Excellent. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it's honestly, the more I think about it, the more actually like profound it is for society to, you know, make sure we have hashes of everything, because then like that specific the specific attack vector of a virus that subtly uses AI to plausibly modify files silently. That seems like a random attack vector that no one really thinks about it. But then, like, you know, ransomware, that was a specific attack vector, and then once it became like useful or interesting, it just kind of exploded. And that could be a thing in the future where we see, like, you know, a virus that goes out on the internet and it looks for a certain type of file and then tries to like subtly corrupt it. Or imagine how that would work for like court documents and stuff. A virus that like hacks into the court and changes all the documents, or into a bank and like changes it adds and subtracts random money from people's accounts. Does creating high quality videos translate to more views? In my experience, no. I mean, technically, as the person that produces the video, you can't, you know, I'm biased, and I can say that the video is good, high quality. But other people could say, you know, it wasn't really good because of this or that. From my perspective, though, there's almost zero correlation. And the more videos I produce, the more kind of unsure I am about like the actual number of views. I think there's other things at play that are not obvious. Ever check Google Trends? What are the things that people are talking about? I don't check Google Trends that much, but in the YouTube Studio, it tells me a lot about what is trending, and there's no shortage of. It's easy to find out what the trends are. Usually, you can just look at the homepage and see what's getting recommended a lot, what people are talking about. If I look at what I consume most, it's videos and long-form content between 25 minutes to an hour of something the creator actually enjoys doing. Talking about from watching a manual engraver explain. Yeah, maybe I could do some like lazy content, just sit and talk. I don't know. I've always get caught up trying to like try to refine what I'm going to say. If I'm saying something I think is relevant, if it's important enough to put in a YouTube video, usually I think, I should think this out a bit more clearly, and then I end up just spending more time to convey it, which requires more editing. And how to find a mentor in software engineering. You're asking, or is that a video idea? Their trait to mechanics, restoring old screws. Explain their trait, restoring old screws. Git stores hash, I believe. What do you use to edit videos? I edit with a program called Caden Live. Yeah, it's a free program, and it works on Linux. It works pretty well. It does have some bit of bugs, but it's been improving quite a bit. They do regular releases of it. Austin Norman, 8050 says, afternoon. How's it going? I wonder if Caden Live has an MCP server. I've never checked, but I guess that's. I guess inevitably it's used by the open source community, so it probably will get one eventually. Just checked. It does. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll have to think about that. Because it would be nice to figure out how to improve and optimize my editing. Peanut, any major changes to World to Plan or major updates to the game? Maybe. I forget the last where I was last time. I guess what I can demo now is I have some menus. There's a flashing. There's a red and green flashing thing outside. Airplane, I guess. Yeah, so I guess the most recent advancements are I have a frame where I can open a new world connection. So I can click open to open the. So I can start the game with no world connections, and then I can open a local connection, and I can also open a network connection. And then I also have, this is kind of just part of the building blocks. So to open a connection to a world, either a local world or a networked multiplayer world, that just creates the connection. And then I'm also adding a facility to open an authorized connection. So the authorized connection is like a player connection, and I'm going to do it this way so that one client can basically open. If I wanted, I could open like 2 or 3 player accounts at once. And this is it's pretty close to working. There's some issues with the chunk loading model. It doesn't perfectly work for multiple clients. So that's kind of what I'm working on, some unit tests now to fix that. And I guess the other thing now is, so this is the map area. So that's the coordinate. And for each of the frames, I'm going to associate. Basically, I'm just going to put like the world connection URL in it. So I guess, let me see. Oh, it's not on, I don't think. right? No, to deploy the server. Co-op model. When did that come about? Is I'd never known that existed. So X and Y are so people can tell where you are. Yeah. So the X and Y, that's where your player currently is in the existing world. And then the extra context along with, I'm going to make it so most of the frames will have an associated authorized world connection with them. So the authorized world connection maps to an authorized client ID. So eventually the idea would be you would actually like authenticate. So you would connect to like a login server and then type your username password. After that, you get a authorized client ID, and that authorized client ID, you can use that to connect to the massive multiplayer server, which is hosting all the clients. And I think this makes sense even just for testing. So this way I can test facilities of like multiplayer locally in one client. So I could even have like a unit tests for, like, for example, have one unit test of 2 different frames of like 2 players walking past each other, or like trying to, doing collision testing and stuff. And it can all work in one client. And if it works, if the model is seamless, then that should work just as well locally as it will over the network. Yeah, and I guess for now, I may actually make, I don't know, use these. Shall like address the windows or something. But yeah, and because you can connect to multiple worlds. Actually, let me just try that now. So now connect to this, but with the IP and port. Okay, there we go. It says I need to make the UI a bit better. Okay, so now there's so the bottom screen is connected to a world that's locally, it's a local SQLite world. And if I go up to this world, this is another completely different world connection that's going over the network. So this one is talking to a server that's hosting the world. And then I guess conceivably, if I could even, it could even be, I could add like features to like teleport between them or something, or it's all kinds of possibilities for making this like more of a distributed system, or even like, I think it'd be interesting to have like to be able to copy information between the worlds. So this is the network world. I guess like in a Minecraft world, there's people who do like world downloads, where like you walk around the world and it downloads. But you could implement something like that, so it, when you connect to a world, it'll automatically sync the world, the map itself to, or the chunks you download to a local version. Lots of possibilities, but I still have to get it working first. Here's an idea. If you declare your own HTTP schema, people could share links to worlds and a coordinate in the world, then visit specific places and if you upload in there, yeah, that's I actually think it's like the ability to just move around a physical space, and where the world is just like blocks. I mean, you could something that I think would be a cool idea. Like, this has nothing to do with a block mining game, but imagine, actually that could be yeah. You know what I could do? I could even have like a thing where you can move around. People can add blocks that are links, and you know what? If I restrict the link, so it's only links to like whitelisted websites like YouTube. You can only post a link to YouTube or something, because if it's hosted on YouTube, then it's, it's not anything bad. It's not a phishing link or something. And you could have like you can like walk around. I could have like people. I could have a user subscription or something, $1 a month, or maybe I'd just make it like become a channel member for a $1 tier, and then broke. Become a channel member on the $1 tier, and that gives you a login. You can an account to the login, and you can put like links to your favorite YouTube videos or something, and then people can like browse around and have something in the something in the game, so you can like, I guess I could add like a scraper or something that just maybe it caches the for a given URL, caches the. I mean, these are like, this is very different from a iron ore block mining game, but these are some of the ideas that I think are would be interesting to build upon, possibly monetizable. Hosting a server would be powered on a 10-year-old laptop. Hosting a server be powered on a 10-year-old laptop? You mean the server that I have? I guess I don't know, if it was public facing, I'd have to think a lot more about security. So I'd maybe see if I could do some kind of like serverless thing, because then I could put like a web application firewalls and stuff in front of it. Wouldn't take much HP to run. No, it shouldn't. It should be something you could run on something simple. Add some mystery blocks. I could. With blocks, the possibilities are endless. Add secret unlisted YouTube videos for people to discover. I could. There's many possibilities. Use a schema scheme idea and secret blocks defined by scanning QR codes. It opens in the game. Your own HTTP schema. People could then share links. Yeah, there's lots of ideas. Maybe hook it up with geocaching. That's a possibility too. There's so many possibilities. But at the end of the day, it has to actually generate memberships and revenue. Okay. Let me think. How do you make your terminal text green? It's just setting, I think, in preferences, then colors, and then just make it specify the color here. So I guess this is in GNOME terminal. So I guess you'd have to be on this distribution, and if you have some distribution with GNOME installed. Membership Patreon could be used. To give a heads up. Yeah, I've had Patreon for probably more than 5 years now. I still only like $200 a month, or actually, it's gone down recently. It's like $185 a month. It was I did get like a big wave of new memberships and stuff last year when my channel was trending up, but all of my metrics are down. Revenue is down, views are down, channel memberships are down. Part of it is also the economy sucks. Nobody has any money. Everybody's afraid of new wars and stuff, so they're not spending money. Reading the Matrix, that's true. Let's see, can I do set operations? So this would be basically I want that. So I'm going to try to make this reasonably thorough and verify all the different stages of the chunk loading and unloading lifecycle. So first, the interface is I basically say, a client says, I want to load these regions. And it figures out the chunk set. And then we would anticipate receiving a chunk becomes pending signal for all of those new chunks. Move all. Okay, so that'll make this set contain all of the newly covered chunks we expect to become pending. What am I making? I'm making a terminal-based video game. There's some demo videos. There's a link to the GitHub with some demo videos. And I guess I can also demo it right now. All right, here is the game. So you can wander around an infinite procedurally generated universe. You can spam the M key and mine blocks. The blocks show up in your inventory down here. And you can also craft. So one can craft some better pickaxes there. And then now I can mine out to a larger radius. And that is the basic game loop at the moment. And the current major feature that I'm working on is multiplayer. Nice. Absolutely insane. Thank you. Yeah, and it's terminal based, so you can also run it in a pure TTY. So if you do -- use ASCII, then this is if you have like restricted graphics, then it also works with the crafting menu and there's no emoji support in this graphics mode, or in some graphics modes. And that's the gist of it. All right, let's see if I can get the first part of the test going tonight. You're so awesome. Amazing for real. I've tried to make terminal games. Bro, it's so hard. Thank you. Yeah, the not having the restricted graphics makes it pretty challenging, and also there's kind of interestingly there really isn't a lot of like library support for it. Like there's like some basic input-output libraries like end curses and stuff, but in terms of like a bigger library on top of that, there isn't really much to work with, and that's, I think, pretty influential. It kind of interesting in a way, because the people who use the terminal are the kinds of people you'd expect to write a terminal library. To make this game, you just use Nano. I'm using Vim right now. All right, I want to check the number of messages in the queue of this thing. Actually, maybe I don't need to. How long have you been working on this project for? I think it's been like a side project I've had for at least a couple of years now. Recently, in the last I guess 300 something day series, I've been working on it maybe like an hour a day. Hello, how's it going? Is that Pop? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Pop OS? This is Ubuntu. Why so long names for various functions, classes? If I don't do that, then I'll forget what everything does. To complete the meme, I use Arch, by the way. Nice. Ever made your own commands? using bash rc or something. You can make your own commands quite easily, but it really depends what you mean. You can have like aliases to other commands, which is useful. But to make a command is easy, but to implement it is a lot of work. Depends what the command does. Is this Peria? How's it going? Drush commands? I'm not really sure what you mean. That's probably for CMS called Drupal. Oh, okay. Never heard of that. I've heard of Drupal, but a philosophy that anything you can do, everything you do through a UI should be able to do through a CLI. Yeah, I think that's, in a lot of cases, I think that's usually how things are designed. I guess Microsoft really wasn't that way though. But most, frequently a lot of stuff in Linux, it might not even have a documented CLI. But if you can, usually when you can do it through a graphical interface, there's some API somewhere for it. What shell do you prefer? Have you used others? Personally, I just use the default usually, just because that's easiest. I have tried out others just for testing usually. Actually, I probably should test out more different shells with this. Well, like I said, it's not really much to launching it, but what shell is this? The shell that I'm using is just like what even is it? It's probably Dash or something. Oh, bash, bin bash. But what does that simulate to something? Oh, guess just actually bash. Yeah, just bash. Just a few viewers. A couple. I guess that's on the upper end of my range. It's usually between 0 and 20 or so. Boolean cannot be dereferenced on line 71. BAH is goat. It is pretty good. Robert is life. Thank you. You think very highly of me. I wonder how standardized shell terminals are. I think there's of standards that I know of. There's the POSIX interface, which is there are some like things that Bash does that comply with that. Although it's one of those really weird old interfaces that was like in the 1970s and 80s. Everyone was just inventing everything from scratch, and everything was like inconsistent or duplicated. So then they came up with the POSIX interface, which specified a bunch of things, and some people adopted certain things, and so there's some like strange. It's a standard that exists to try and standardize things, as opposed to a standard to try and make things like as opposed to making something like beautiful and simple to work with. Did you guys get to go to Bash? I spent tons and tons of time learning it. If you watch my favorite, go to my channel and search my favorite Linux command series, and then watch all 120 or something of my shorts videos. I just decided in Xmas 2010 to go for it. Yeah, once you get a certain critical mass of momentum, then it becomes easier to learn the last bit you don't know. All right, that test passed. All right, that's a tiny incremental bit of progress on that unit test. So I guess next I'll just keep I'll make it randomly progress certain chunks through this chunk life cycle. And then just verify that everything that should be in there. Things are made available at the right time, and it makes sure it gets everything it expects, and then it doesn't get anything it doesn't expect. What's your favorite meal to cook? Honestly, I don't really cook. I'm not much of a cooking person, although I did cook a meal today. Today I made mashed potatoes, some Brussels sprouts, and some steak. So timeless, yeah, especially the core utils commands. Any of y'all really use Arch? I tried Arch for a bit, many years ago, but to get work done, I went with something more stable. I just use Ubuntu now for simplicity. What is package name or repo called? I'm not sure if that's a question for me or for someone else, but meat and 2 veggies. Yep, it's good. All right, I'll probably call it a night here. I guess I've been progressing slowly. That is the one disadvantage of when people actually show up to your stream, is you get less work done because you talk to people. But I will return to this tomorrow, and we will continue work on building up this unit test, and then once let's see, there's actually a couple there's an existing bug in the chunk loading model I want to fix, so I'll fix that, and then once these tests are very robust that work for the single player version, then I will refactor the in-memory chunks class itself. All right, that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night for day 312. Have a good night.